Hey, what's up guys, it's MugenLord here, and I am back again with some more Granblue Fantasy ReLink news. And I must say that Side Games has finally given us a release date of when we can expect to have this game in our hands, so we can no longer have to speculate of when this game is going to release. So before we dive into this video, make sure you hit that subscribe button, the notification bell for more gaming content here on this channel. So let us dive right into it. Now, I know I have a ton of new subscribers, and maybe many of you don't even know what Granblue Fantasy actually is. So how about I just bring you up to speed of what's been going on with Granblue Fantasy as a series and also as a console experience. So we're going to dive right into it. Now, Granblue Fantasy is essentially a JRPG gacha mobile game that was very popular in Japan, made its way west side, became very popular, introduced a ton of characters, and brought us into the world that Granblue Fantasy have introduced us to. And it had pretty much got an anime spin-off or adaptation to allow people to immerse themselves in the world, especially for those of you who aren't really interested in the mobile game. But it's extremely popular, and Side Games is a developer, and they pretty much essentially wanted to get their game into as many hands as possible to expand the brand by getting into the console space. And it's going almost over a decade since we have actually seen the first reveal of Granblue Fantasy ReLink, which is the JRPG component of Granblue Fantasy. Now, what I mean by component is because eventually we did get a fighting game called Granblue Fantasy Versus, which was developed by Arc System Works themselves, and we are actually getting a new expansion or sequel called Granblue Fantasy Versus Rising. So they're really trying to push this Granblue Fantasy series and franchise to make it much more expansive, make it much more of an impact here in the West. And to me, in my personal opinion, I think they're doing a pretty good job. But most importantly, everybody's been wondering what the hell's been going on with ReLink. It's been almost hitting a decade since we have seen the game, because it was revealed at the beginning of the PS4 and the Xbox One life cycle, and we heard nothing of it. So even though the fighting game has essentially had pretty much brought most people into Granblue Fantasy, especially for those who never played the gacha game, someone like me who really enjoyed the fighting game and definitely is going to pick up Rising, I was most importantly more excited for the JRPG experience, since that was the first I was ever introduced to it, because the trailer just looked amazing. Now, when it came to the combat itself, Side Games had bought Platinum Games on board to help with the combat system, and then essentially after they had fulfilled their contract and their duty, Platinum Games has stepped off and Side Games has essentially worked on everything else. So what's been taking it so long for this game to essentially be released? Well, as you may know, that we're here on the PS5 and the Xbox Series X, these next generations of consoles. So the developers had essentially had to pretty much move all their resources over to the next generations of consoles. So as far as when these games are going to be released or what platforms these games is going to be released, is sadly not the Xbox, but it's going to release on the PS4 and the PS5. So last generation console owners who still have the PS4 but have yet to move to the PS5 will definitely be able to get their hands on the game. So with Gamescom 2023 finally here, they had officially gave us a release date for the game. We finally got a release date, and the release date is going to be February 1st of 2024. Yes, that's right, we'll be getting the game next year. Now, for me, even though I'm excited and hyped for it, I'm a little sad, I guess, because I was really expecting the game to release this year. But it makes perfect sense, since we do have Granblue Fantasy Versus Rising, the fighting game that's a sequel that's coming out. So it makes sense to be able to spread it out and also give the developers a lot more wiggle room to pretty much, I guess you could say, patch things up a bit, clean things up as far as development is concerned before they have the complete total package ready. So what can we expect from Granblue Fantasy ReLink? Because we did get some news provided with their new trailer. So I can clearly say that I'm still happy, because after hearing that they was doing some changes to it, I thought we was going to lose a feature that I was more so curious about. And that feature is essentially the 4-player co-op mode. Yes, there will be a 4-player co-op mode, and hopefully they'll go into more detail as we get closer to the release date. So essentially, after side games have pretty much shift over to the next generations of gaming consoles, we can expect more, I guess you say, spectacles, especially for the PS5, especially how colorful and how vibrant the environments is, and next generation technology will be able to push that a bit more and take advantage of those effects and of those environments. Now the thing is, what I like about it is how this game is also an action RPG, but the character designs, the characters in this game, everybody looks like a main protagonist. I don't know who the artist is and what was on their mind, but you can't make every character just this epic. Everybody looks like a badass. And essentially, when you play this game, you're able to link together 4 party members, and you'll be able to, when you step into these missions, you're able to choose what character essentially, make up your unit and fit your play style. And when it comes to action RPGs, I like to have party management, and that's what this game essentially has. Like, you go into a mission, and as you're exploring and you're combating against your enemies, you're able to switch between characters during combat seamlessly, and that's what I enjoy the most. So I'll be able to pretty much enjoy every character. So if there's a characters that fit your playstyle, you can fit them all in one party and switch them back and forth, which I think is going to be pretty cool. So you're never, I guess you would say, essentially bored or tired of playing the same character over and over again. And also they have like a training like feature where you're able to practice on a training dummy to be able to get the full maximum experience out of their character, understand how their combo links work and what abilities work best with this character, and you be able to formulate a plan of how to bring your unit together to get the most out of your missions, which I think is pretty cool. Now, as I said before, Granblue Fantasy Versus started out as a mobile game, a gacha game, JRPG. So most of their demographics are those players, and they went to bring it over to the console space and into the fighting game space as well. But most importantly, their market will always be their main demographic, those who invested in the mobile game. And we all know mobile games is a very casual base. Yes, you do have the hardcore out there. So they really want to adopt that casualness to this game by implementing certain features to allow people who don't play hardcore and don't really understand the gaming aspects when it comes to console games, they'll still be able to get that same experience. And what do I mean by that? Well, there's going to be 2 assist modes for the new action RPG types of players, and to bring the hardcore together. Now with the assist mode, you're pretty much using 1 analog stick and 1 button to perform combo attacks, while full assist mode, which is the other mode, is played with 1 analog stick, as all the characters will just do auto attack with every altercation. So yes, there's 2 forms of casual play. You have the regular casual, where you just press 1 button and just move the character around, and then you got the full-on noob feature, which you just move the character and then the characters is just everything else on their own. Now, as I said before, if you're a dedicated hardcore gamer or just know your way around JRPGs, then this feature is not going to affect you in any other way, so this can be completely ignored. Now, people are also wondering what the level designs are like in this game. Will the worlds be, or the levels be, expansive? Well, they did shed some light on that. So yes, there will be some explorations on each mission, and they pretty much encourage you to actually look around every nook and cranny, because you'll be able to find treasure chests, and it's also hitting bosses within the levels that you can be able to seek and find them out and battle them in this game, which I think is going to be pretty cool. And then of course, outside the main story, there's a 4-player co-op which focus on tackling the quest for that authentic MMORPG. And there's pretty much over 100 out the gate, centered around challenging bosses and raiding new areas. Thoughtful teamwork is required, but you're free to change your loadout for each individual and take them out at your own pace. Now, that's the thing that I was curious about, how that's going to play out. So it seemed like it's going to be like a monster hunter or a monster killing type of multiplayer, where you just essentially find the target, you battle your way through the level until you get to the monster. And they're talking about there's going to be over 100 missions starting in this game. So it's leading me to believe that side games will probably find some type of way, or through DLC, to constantly update the missions for this game. So I'm definitely going to be curious to see how that works out, and will this be a feature that they are going to invest in? I want to know if there's going to be customization as far as like loadouts, as far as your character's physical aesthetics look. Now, we know that there's going to be different loadouts for, you know, playstyle, move sets and everything like that, but can you customize the character? Because then I can see side games really going to capitalize on this feature, especially multiplayer. And then, of course, story and spectacle. I'm definitely looking forward to see the story and how it's going to play out. The characters look interesting, the world looks interesting, and I didn't want to read up any lore before the release date to Granblue Fantasy ReLink. I wanted to be able to just dive into this world blindly and allow the game to express and show me why I should remain in this world of Granblue Fantasy ReLink. So that pretty much essentially just wraps everything up. This is all the news and details that we have so far, and I'm looking forward to see what else they will reveal to us much later as we get close to the reveal or the release of the game. So definitely your thoughts in the comment sections below. Have you ever played a Granblue Fantasy before this ReLink was ever revealed, or the fighting game was revealed? And if so, who's your favorite character, and what do you like most about Granblue Fantasy? And if this is your first time hearing about it and have interest in actually giving the game a try, what aspects of this game that you've seen so far through promotions and its trailers that really got you super excited? So definitely your thoughts in the comment section below. If you like that video, hit that like button, because it definitely helps me out in the algorithm, and also hit that bell to be notified for more gaming news on this channel. This is MugenLord, sign off. I'll see you game fiends later. Peace out.